Okay, kids are out of the house for a little bit. Mom's taking them to church. What I want to look at now, I think we're getting to a really exciting spot here whenever they woke up. Um, Hello world. I wonder if even, I want to keep reading the text for a little bit. When we got down to file 7, it was saying can't get again. Um, it was trying to get, and the message came back can't get. But I think we'd gotten to the point where Connect is trying to handle a fork in the routing force. So I wonder if it's just not leaving anything for the home route anymore. Like there's not a default route. Maybe it's turned that off. But let's keep reading. We'll see what happens here. In the preceding example, you added another middleware called logger. The logger middleware, see that's why it's given the message back get, uses the console log method to simply log the request information to the console. Notice how the logger middleware is registered before the hello world middleware. This is important as it determines the order in which each middleware is executed. Another thing to notice is the next call in the logger middleware, which is responsible for calling the hello world middleware. Removing the next call would stop the execution of middleware functions at the logger middleware, which means that the request would hang forever as the response is never ended by calling the response end method. To test your changes, start your Connect server again by issuing the following command in your command line tool. Node server. Then visit localhost 3000 in your browser and notice the console output in your command line tool. Okay, let's try that. We're still in the same. Let's go back to not remember if we're in 5 or 7. So whichever one we're at, we'll just try it. Okay, we can't right now because we're actually just a Control C. Okay, now we can, and it's 5. We're back at 5. So we'll do node server. Server running. He's talking about something besides 5. I say he. Who wrote this book? Say anything about the author? I don't know if this is. I don't guess it matters. We're at work. You can't ask them what gender they are. In Star Trek, they call female captains sir. Amos Q Haviv. Can we assume Amos is male? Amos. Nice to meet you, Miss Amos. Alright. Amos. Anyways, just referring to the author, I said he. I don't know. I realized I never really thought about who the author was. So we can say he. That's apparently Amos is a he. If not, sorry to offend you. Alright. There are many. Let's see. The point was, before we started worrying about if it was he or she, these modules are then built upon because we're at the top of the page here. So we're calling connect yet in 5. Let's try splitting the screen so I can read these next to each other. This is Windows 7 server. Well, it's not. It's the server running on Windows 7. Windows Server 7 is actually a different thing, I believe. Don't really need full screen for that even. That's what I'm trying to get. And this is the other monitor. You don't need that. I mean, I do, but why is it up over here? Okay. I guess I could have put it on this pane. And the other thing we need is the command line. Alright, this is what I've been trying to get. So that kind of setup. We got our... So what are we running? We're running 5. And it's not sending anything back. Okay. Well, it is. It's sending back running. That's what the console log. What I want to try. Excuse me. One more thing. Let's read 5, since that's what we're running. I don't know what's got me sneezing. There's got to be something in the air in here. Start up some dust somewhere. Guess what? Rocket scientists sneeze. Not that I'm a rocket scientist, but the whole point is to demystify this code. It's not something that's never touched by humans. All this was written by a person, at least at this day and age. We're getting to the point where code can write code, so that I might have maybe speaking ahead of time here. But the point for right now is that 5 is reading 5. Yeah, we're in 2.5. So let's see if it's giving us any other options besides. Yeah, it should be giving us hello world. Is it giving us goodbye world yet? Okay, that's why I haven't read that one yet. There's no forking in this file yet. But, alright. Should we cancel that and run 6? What's special about 6? Is this when we go to connect? And 5, now we're still using connect. Let's see if we go to our forking in 6. Okay, this is what he's just talking about. It does the logging and then calls hello world and then says 3000. So that's it. Let's get into 6 and we'll be caught up to where we're at in the text. So let's quit 5. Control C. I think up arrow. And we just backspace from 5. We'll go to 6. Okay, now let's run that with Node server. Server running. We did the refresh. Server running at 3000. Get. Okay, that's not necessarily new. I mean, it is, but was it doing that on the 5? I think it was. I was expecting the hello world. Let's go back to, let's try and read what's going on here. In this server file that we keep getting the get from. Require connect. App equals connect. Log. Maybe that's it. This logger is what's feeding us the get. So maybe that's it. Let's go back to 5, and I bet we're not getting the get. We're not getting the get. Did you get the get yet? Control C. Okay, so let's do is that 5? Yeah, let's hop back into 5. Then we'll do node server. Okay, it's running. That's it. I got the get. Cannot forget the get. Have you got the get yet? See, when I refresh now, so that's it. That's the logger. I was having so much trouble figuring that out. Now I feel like a moron for not knowing that sooner. So there's the logger. and then it calls hello world. Or no, it just calls the next middleware. There it is, okay. So call the next, gets the next. Then you get your hello world. So it must be passing that in like a message, where it was saying hello world now before. It's going to feed in this message as a variable and change your hello world message to whatever the logger needs to say. I think I just got that. And I hope you got that too. How are we on time? 10 minutes. That's good. We'll actually call this, I'll do a 35-minute episode. When it was like 7 o'clock this morning, I heard my nephew running down the hallway. So I've been hanging out with them for the last 3 or 4 hours. 3 hours. What, 7 to 10:30, about 3.5 hours there. Anyways, alright. So what was we going to do? We're going to change directories. We got our get. So in 7, do we finally get to fork in 7? Let's look at what's going on in 7. It should already be open. Let's look on our side panel. If 7 does what I think it does, we'll close everything else down and just make 7 our reference point to wrap up the episode. Well, I said 30. Yeah, we're just getting started. 10 minutes. So this is really our start of our 25-minute episode. If we're trying to like splice them together later or something. Pull out the highlights, whatever. Require connect. App equals connect. Let's make that full screen while I'm reading this little box. Alright. Here's our paragraphs. First paragraph, we're going to use connect. Somebody else wrote that for us. Second paragraph, my app is equal to what they wrote. Third paragraph, we're going to log everything that comes out the console. Next. So here's what's new is our hello world. Actually, that was in the last file. Goodbye world. This is the end of our chapter. So how would it, is that the fork? Is that what we've been looking for? Yes, right there it is. Alright. Server running at 3000. Alright, let's try running 7. And I think I see what's going to happen. Seems like we started there though. What's changed? Why would it not run? We did a couple of installs. Did any of that change anything? Did we install anything to folder 7? We installed a core module. We referenced an external module. Did we and then maybe installed that? I don't know. We'll see. Let's do Control C. Control C. Okay, back at command prompt. Nothing's going on. Let's do up arrow, install connect. That might be the difference. If it runs now and it didn't run before, it's because we didn't have connect installed. And we're calling connect. Node server. Okay, 7. I think that's what we're trying to get back to. So now let's just do node. Let's do fingers are off on the keyboard. Let's do node server. JS is the same. It's built into the program. It's kind of the way it searches. It looks for, like, it'll look for the JSON package, then it'll look for the JSON file, then it'll look for the JSON folder. So it's the structure of the node module linking, building this chain. So if it'll look for something more local, and if it doesn't find it, then it'll look for something external. So this is kind of our shortcut. If we know we're in the right spot, we can just run it local. Server running. Let's refresh it. Hello world. Can't get. But if we go to hello world, That's it. Now remember, I've been making this point before. This whole thing up here is your app. This URL. So if we want to trigger, if we want to call line 30 instead of line 20 in our go-to app, like we recorded on Commodore 64s with analog cassette tapes we forgot to run, we're going to say goodbye. I'm going to say goodbye because it might be a good value. But if you want to call the command correctly, it's goodbye. Goodbye, world. Goodbye, cruel world. Alright, 15 minutes. Do we want to do another 20 or want to break this? I think we'll break this off here. It's a little out of pace, but whatever. I'm trying to do 25-minute Pomodoros. Got interrupted by 10 on the last one. It's taking us a while to work around here, but we'll call that the end of chapter 2. Finally understand what's going on here with Connect. So in chapter 3, we'll hook up Express. One more thing, since we're kind of running on free time, let's fill in our notes. When I first started doing this, the whole idea was to keep a video diary of all my work, whatever I'm working on, 8 hours a day. Just log the fact that I'm working on something. And right now, that's studies. Investing in time and learning, getting a little smarter. But part of this process too, I didn't want the video diary, the show, the production. I didn't want all that to get in the way. I've learned a little bit setting it up. But what we really, it's local. Let's get back to, this is on our Windows 7. Okay. Gets a little surreal. Working on a machine, watching yourself working on a machine, playing a window, watching yourself working on a machine. Alright, so we're done with this server. Let's close that. Actually, let's not. Let's go back there for a second. Can't get. Hello, goodbye. We're logging. Okay, we're doing our logging. We're running through our locations. Localhost. Let's try Bert. Can't get Bert. Can't get Bert. We don't have a Bert. So really, I think we've written our first API here at a pretty low level. Bert, get Bert, can't get Bert. So if you look over here, this is what's going on the console of the server. And what you get over here is what somebody would get if they went to that URL link, localhost 3000. So if they went to TurtleWolf, found out there's an E, it's Austrian, wolf. Can't get TurtleWolf. We've not written anything for TurtleWolf, but it's trying over here in the saying get TurtleWolf, get Bert. But if it's got a path, if Connect has given it a route, which it's written for two, it's written your good world, it's written your hello world, and it's written, and here we've got it in our browser history. Goodbye. Goodbye world. So we got, so every one of those, it's get, so the console log is taken get backslash and whatever we fed it. And it's just logging that, that request, I guess. We'll look at that again real quick. The request object. Booyah. So we'll look at the full file here for 7. This is all our server is. This is the only file we've got going on. So if it's happening here. It's not calling a template. It's not generating another HTML page. It's just sending that little message of hello world. Okay, so if we're going to test this, we've built our first Connect app. We'll get the comment too. Copy. We'll put it up here at the top so we don't get lost. And this happens in the next chain with the middleware. Oh, we don't need that. That's a crazy little symbol. Give ourselves a little bit of space and paste it in. And we'll make these smaller so you can see kind of overall what's going on. So I can see what's going on. There's the actual app. So it's making the function and then it's calling them. Because I can't minimize these. That's as small as they get. And then log it to the 3000. And that might help with asynchronous, because it's not calling this every time. It's calling it once when it first finishes reading this file. But then it's got calls to all of these. It's telling it to listen. So maybe that's setting up a callback function. And whenever these get triggered, feed that through the loop that's running. I'm starting to get this. The more trying to explain it to you, the more it makes sense to me. So we've copied our goodbye world. Let's rewrite this one. And now we're going to make a constant. And we're going to call it tdub. tdub. Use the response object to write the content type response header. Response set header content type text plain. Use the response object to write a response body. So the body is what we're getting in our web page. Content type text and plain. So that's what the header is. It's not an H1 tag. It's just telling the document object model that this is plain text. Goodbye world. Response end. Werewolves. There's no spell check. It's gonna let me misspell this. Whatever. Werewolves of loud and clear. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Alright, let's see what that gives us. So we gotta do control save. And that little arrow here with brackets means we got our disconnect live preview. I think it'll just show it to us. If not, we can go back to the browser we've been using. Just wanted to try that. Open an HTML file or make sure there is an HTML file in your project in order to launch live preview. Did I not set this up? It's fine. We've still got it running on the server. So we can do our refresh. Maybe we can't. We may have to, we'll try it and see. What do I call it? tdub? Can't get tdub. Let's try refreshing the server before we give up. Control C. Node server. That's why I thought the live preview would be a good try. So we got that. I still can't get. We're in 7. That's fine. I was going off the branch. I thought I had covered the material, but this is good. This is how you test it. I mean, it's a sandbox. You got to play around with it. People think, oh, I can't touch my code. It won't work. Well, that's how you learn. Break it apart. Order shouldn't matter, should it? If I'm calling next, maybe it does. Let's try that, just to be curious. Oh, wait. Yeah, I didn't do the part where, yeah, here we go. I didn't do this part. Duh. Alright. So we'll copy. Booyah. Did I just fix our first bug live on air? That's so cool. This is where it's got to say tdub, right? App use. Nope. I think this is where it's got to say tdub. And just to make sure, we'll change this to something different. We'll try both of them. I think this is not case sensitive. TW. Alright, let's see what that gives us. Control Node.js. Now again, can we just update? I think error tw. I was thinking you could just update files live, but you probably can't. And it makes sense you can't, actually. It would probably be a big security risk if you could. Control C. Okay. Node server. Server running. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Werewolves loud and clear. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Werewolves loud and clear. Ooh, ooh. Here we are, recording 26 minutes. Alright, that's a normal episode. Whatever. Sorry for the 10 minutes. Kids happen. Enjoy them. See you guys soon.